Welcome, welcome, welcome to the Deep Dive. Today we're looking at something, well, really practical. It's called Everyday English, Essential Skills for Daily Communication. And our mission, really, is to cut through this source for you, our listener, and just pull out those super useful nuggets, the insights that give you a bit of a shortcut to feeling more confident, more articulate in daily English, especially if you already got some basics down. So yeah, let's unpack this and see what practical gems it really holds for you.
It's quite insightful, actually. Not just what it covers, but how it guides you. It really strips away the complex stuff, focusing on the fundamental building blocks of daily interaction. Makes it incredibly actionable, I think, for anyone looking to really sharpen their practical English.
And right out of the gate, the source jumps straight into vocabulary for daily life.
Yeah.
And it's not just like a random list. It's organized. So you get usable language for common situations immediately. They start with morning stuff, wake up, brush teeth, take a shower, have breakfast, get dressed, go to work, that kind of thing. And they give an example like, I wake up at 7 a.m. every day. Seems simple, right? But there's maybe a deeper point there. Then it shifts. Vocabulary for at work. Things like attend a meeting, send an email, make a phone call, finish a report, take a break. Can you send me that email, please? That's one of their key examples. And then for at home, you've got cook dinner, wash dishes, clean the room, watch TV, go to bed. We usually cook dinner together as a sort of illustration.
And what's really powerful there, especially if you're beyond, say, the absolute beginner stage, it's not just the single words. It's the focus on collocations. Common phrasal verbs.
Like word partners.
Exactly. Think about take a shower, not just shower, make a phone call, not just call. These are like ready-made chunks of language. And mastering these, it's a huge shortcut to sounding more natural, more fluent. Because, native speakers use these fixed expressions constantly. It cuts down the mental effort, instead of building sentences word by word.
Okay, so you've got these vocabulary chunks, but how do you actually use them when you're talking to someone? That's where the source brings in useful expressions. And it stresses these aren't just, polite little phrases, they're navigational tools for smooth social interaction. It gives you key phrases for specific situations. Like for a greeting, you get, hey, how's it going? And the reply, I'm doing well, thanks. How about you? Standard stuff, but essential. Or say you're at a shop. The source suggests things like, excuse me, how much is this? Woo, and can I pay by card? Really practical questions. Then for asking for help, maybe, could you help me with this, please? Or I'm looking for the bus stop. And there's really important polite responses like, thank you very much, and you're welcome.
Yeah, and zooming out a bit, these expressions are, they're like the social lubricants of language, aren't they?
Social lubricants, I like that.
For a learner, they're just vital, not just for getting information across, but for showing social awareness. Competence. They ease the flow of conversation, and they often carry these implicit cultural things. Politeness, directness.
Right.
They can vary a lot between languages.
Well, that's a good point.
So understanding when and how to use them correctly, that makes a big difference in how you come across. It goes way beyond the literal words.
Okay, that makes sense. But knowing the words and phrases, still not quite enough, right? How do you actually string them together so they, make grammatical sense? That leads us to the source's mini grammar lesson. It focuses on the present simple tense, framing it as the essential backbone for talking about daily habits, routines. It explains how you use it and gives you the formula. Subject plus verb, base form, plus object. Pretty straightforward. And they give examples. I work every day. She plays football. They eat breakfast at 8. Clear enough. But here's the really crucial bit they highlight for getting it right. Notice, with he, she, it, we add s to the verb. Oh, so get he works, not he works, and she plays. That little s is important.
Right. And this raises a good question, actually. If you, the listener, already kind of know the present simple, what's the deeper insight here? Well, I think it's deceptive simplicity. It's not just for habits. It's really the bedrock for stating universal truths, scientific facts, even things like fixed future events, like timetables. So for someone learning, getting a really solid grip on the present simple helps avoid those common errors that can stick around. Fossilized errors, they call them. And it lets you express general ideas really precisely, which is critical for, conveying more complex thoughts clearly later on. It's about nailing those fundamentals so you have a strong base to build on.
Makes sense. Nailing the fundamentals. Okay, next up, pronunciation practice. Which, let's be honest, often gets a bit overlooked, but it's so important for being understood clearly. The source highlights a couple of common tricky spots. First, that infamous th sound, in words like think or thank you or Thursday. And the tip they give is actually really practical. Place your tongue lightly between your teeth and blow air. They even suggest practicing. Think, thank, Thursday, just getting that airflow right. And then they tackle another classic one, the difference between ship and sheep, explaining that ship has that short I sound, like in sit, while sheep has the long E sound, like in seat. It seems like a tiny vowel difference, doesn't it? But wow, it can totally change the meaning, could lead to some awkward moments.
Oh, absolutely. The importance of clear pronunciation, even for these subtle sound differences like I versus E or that. See, you really can't overstate it. For communication to be truly effective, it's not just about being vaguely understood. It's about avoiding misunderstandings altogether. These seemingly small phonetic details, they can drastically change what someone thinks you're saying. Mastering them really boosts your perceived fluency and your confidence too, I think.
Definitely. Confidence is key. Okay, so finally, the source wraps things up with something really useful, a practice conversation. They provide a short, pretty simple dialogue. And the whole point is to let you immediately put all these bits, the new words, the expressions, into action. It's designed for active practice, simulating a real chat.
Really?
Which is, such a smart way to get the knowledge out of your head and into actual speech.
Absolutely. Underscoring the value of that active practice, role-playing like that, it's just vital. It forces you to move beyond just, passively absorbing the info. You have to actively produce the language. That's what builds the skills, the sort of muscle memory you need for speaking spontaneously. This is really where the theory meets the road, turning knowledge about English into an active ability to communicate in English.
Right, putting it all together. Okay, so let's recap this deep dive into everyday English. We've pulled out some really practical gems for you. First, the power of daily vocabulary, especially focusing on those collocations and phrasal verbs, those ready-made language chunks. Then, the crucial role of useful expressions, not just for politeness, but as social tools, carrying cultural nuance. We looked at the present simple tense, seemingly basic, but foundational for clear statements way beyond just routines. Plus, the real impact of targeted pronunciation practice on clarity, avoiding mix-ups with sounds like the or short I versus long E. And finally, the huge value of active conversational practice to actually solidify everything. The big goal here, which the source kind of shows implicitly, is for you to take this knowledge and apply it directly in your own daily life, building that confidence one natural sounding phrase at a time, making English feel, well, more like a fluid part of your everyday world.
Yeah, and if we connect this back to the bigger picture, that underlying message from the source, English is not just about grammar, it's about communication. That's really profound when you think about it. It makes you wonder, perhaps, what seemingly simple or foundational communication skills, across any new area you're trying to learn, any skill, what skills truly unlock the most significant connections, the deepest understanding, beyond just the technical rules or the basic grammar.
That is a great thought to leave everyone with, something to chew on. Thank you so much for joining us on this deep dive today. Now, go out there, apply what you've learned. Seriously, you've got this.